Hello everyone, welcome back to my cozy little corner of the internet. If you're new here, my name is Jessica and this video is me vlogging for a week what I do as a bookish content creator. I'm hoping that it shows you a few things. First, a kind of realistic what I read in a week, although I will be reading a bit more because I want to get some crime and thrillers in for preparation for an event that I'm at on Saturday. Of course, I will be bringing you along. It'll show some of how I come up with ideas and how I then film them and edit them. It'll show you some of my life at home, a lot of which includes my handsome golden retriever, Mr. Murphy. And it will also show you some of the other stuff that I've been enjoying at the moment. I had a really crazy week last week. I went to London for 4 days and went to some really cool events which I will tell you about, but it was a bit too chaotic to film and it wasn't a typical week. So I thought this would be a good week, and it does still end with something fun in London. Today was a very quiet Monday, so I didn't film much, but I did read a lot and I thought that would be a great place to start. I spent this morning finishing the last 25% of Bright I Burn by Molly Aitken. It's a historical literary fiction and it's about the first person in Ireland to be trialled as a witch. That being said, this isn't the crazy witch hunt story that you might think it would be. It's almost written like a patchwork memoir of Alice Kittler's life, who was a real woman. It's the story of a woman who has to deal with her place in medieval Ireland, with her restrictive role as a woman and society's fear of anything that cannot be explained. The writing is gorgeous. I will say I think some of the language was a little too modern for the era, that it just sounded a little odd, but what I adored was Molly Aitken's decision to make Alice more of a complex character than just a victim, because she wasn't always a likable main character and she did some very morally ambiguous things, but I think it was down to how desperate she was in her situation. So yeah, I finished this one around lunchtime and then me and Mr. Murphy went on a very slow 2k jog, and then after lunch I started Death in the Air, which is a very glamorous murder mystery by Ram Morali. I do want to start by saying that the publisher Atlantic Books sent me this copy, but it is in exchange for an honest review, so all thoughts are my own. When main character Ro Krishna loses their job under mysterious circumstances, they go to a world-class hotel spa in the Indian Himalayas called Samsara for some rest and relaxation. But there is no rest, because there is a murder, and then Ro is pulled into the investigation. There are lots of characters: an heiress, a politician, a Bollywood star, a meditation yogi, and I know that one of the main concerns from reviewers that didn't like this was that it was pretentious. From what I've read, I thought that was deliberate. I thought all the characters were meant to be quite unlikable, they're all filthy rich, they're all a bit snobby, and I've been enjoying that element of the book. I think the setup makes it clear that these characters are dangerously wealthy. I think so far I've found this dark satire more interesting than the actual murder mystery. Not that that's a problem, but I feel like it'll be in the ending as to whether I really like this book or if it was okay. But I'm enjoying the ride, I'm enjoying the writing. I'm hopefully going to finish it tonight, but we shall see. I might have to finish it in the morning, but I will update with my final thoughts. Good morning, it is day 2, it is Tuesday. I read a little bit of Death in the Air in bed, but I did fall asleep last night. I didn't completely finish it, so I'm gonna go make myself a coffee and then I'm going to finish my book. And then the sun is out for the first time in days because we've had some really sad start of June weather. So I thought I would take some Instagram photos and show you how I do those. I also need to pick up something from the pharmacy, so I will be leaving my house today. But I am a caffeine addict first and foremost, so I will need another coffee before I do any of that. Good morning, Mr. Murphy! Hello to you! What a handsome boy! What a handsome boy! Oh, big yawn. Would you like to come outside and read with me? Would that be nice? That would be fun. I think today is going to be quite heavy on the filming and taking content because I'm not sure how the rest of the week is looking weather-wise, but the moment the sun is out in the UK, you just have to take advantage because you don't know when it's going to be back. So I'm up in the top of the house where the lovely skylight windows are. I don't actually take a lot of my Instagram photos and my bookish content in my room just because it is so dark in there. The room just doesn't get much light. So today I think there's 3 different photos that I want to take. I've been really liking having a little bit more mess on my Instagram, a lot more thrown together looking photos, and I quite like the multimedia thing. I don't just read physical books, I also like to listen to music at the same time, or I do audiobooks. I like having things out when I'm reading, I like creating ambience, and I'm quite enjoying making photos that show all the different media that kind of come together at the moment, so I'm going to try and do something to capture that. Obviously this is green, and I do prefer a white backdrop, but that's fine because we can just... And then I have obviously the book. I found A Secret History of Witches, which I thought would work kind of well, but I'm going to fold it so you can just see the title page. And then I thought this was very... it does stand up. I'll make it stand up. And then I think I want to show some witchy flames, so I'm just going to have Pinterest like at the side. I actually think there's too much sun, so we're going to close that and then it'll be more diffused. Oh, okay, I think I much prefer that. I think I'm happy with the layout. I think there's a couple of things I want to do when I edit it, but I am, yeah, happy with that one. Next, there is a trend that I think I've slightly missed, but people are still posting it, so I still want to do it, which is how similar is our reading taste, and then you put in a load of books you love and then people can add up their scores to see how much they match. And I think it's really cute, really fun. I only need to take a cover photo for it and then I'm going to do the rest on Canva, so we're going to do that. I think I want to do book stacks, but I'm going to put it down here. I do have a vision for it, but I might need to open some more windows for some more light again. A little bit of Jessica lore is that I actually did a photography degree and I finished it about this time last year. I don't really want to be a photographer anymore, but I'm really glad that what I do still involves photography in quite a big way, and I think the skills that I taught myself on the course still really help with the content that I'm creating now. You've probably seen these before, but these are my gorgeous shelves in my room. I think it doesn't matter what I pick for this too much because they're going to be stacked up, but the top ones, I'm quite liking red in my feed at the moment, so I might put maybe my special edition of Circe on the top of one, maybe... Gotta have a copy of the Stylus C somewhere. Probably Persuasion, but I have so many copies, it might not be the pink one. I need another stack, and I think it's going to be hard to see the vision. I'm going to have to put some more colour in there, but I think it will look really good with my feed and how it's set out at the moment. I absolutely love this app called Feed Preview, and you can put all your photos in, it shows how they're going to look all together, and it's really helpful for keeping my consistency, which I quite like in my feed. I like how the stacks look, and then I've picked some of my favourite books for the top. If you've seen my Instagram feed, you'll know that I quite like doing black and white and a little bit of red, a little pop of colour, so I'm trying to stick to that, but this one is a little more subtle, which is fine. I think it'll look good. And then the last picture I want to do is a kind of fun, aesthetic little what's in my bag. This stuff isn't always in my bag, but it's a couple of current favourites. The bag is even more special because I made it myself, and it is reversible, but I decided to do red on both sides. I'm not a big sewer, but my friend Shoned is, so she helped guide me, and it's the first thing that I've properly made with a sewing machine. But crafting is something fun that I'm trying to integrate more into my content because I love crafting, I love a crafternoon, I love making something. I think handmade things are really special, special as gifts, special to have some self-care time, just focusing on a lovely hobby. You probably have seen it a little more on my TikToks because I've been making some things and posting them on there, but I think I, especially with my blog, would like to put more crafty things on there. So what is in my bag currently? Not too much. Probably a horror book of some kind. This is one of my favourites. I'm obsessed with this new clip. I got it because my other one broke, but metal ones are the only ones that hold my hair up properly. And this one is shells. I'm seeing shells everywhere this summer. And then I always have the Clinique Black Honey Balm or Lip Gloss, whichever one I grab first. And then I'm not normally a celebrity fragrance person, but the Love Notes Vanilla Suede by Ariana Grande is the most beautiful thing I've ever smelt. And it's the first time in my life I've been complimented like, oh, you smell really good. I'm like, this is never leaving me ever. And I think I'm just going to arrange them, some of them in the bag, and then some of them around the bag. Do I want to put my coffee cup in? I think I'll put my coffee cup in as well. There we are. I think I'm pretty happy with that. And then I'll just edit the shadows a little bit so that it fits a bit better with my feed. The way I've always approached photography, whether it was on my course, whether it was for a job, is to try and get the photo as near enough to how I want it in real life, and then just tweak in post. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can fix that in editing, but I think it's so much easier if you get it how you want it the first time, and then the process is so much quicker to get to the final photo. I'm really quite happy with all of them. I will have to edit them and then I can add them to my stash of things to post. I think batch content making is so much easier because you're not rushing around to make something new all the time. Okay, before I get started on Canva, I wanted to film a little TikTok using the Sabrina Covington man-child song, but I'm just so obsessed with it. It made me think of all the man-children that are in books, and the first one that came to mind is Mr. Collins in Pride and Prejudice. He is just so needy, he's just so icky, and then I was like, oh, Tamlin from ACOTAR, Dean Atos from Fourth Wing. I know he does have a bit of a character arc, but the first book, he's so pick-me, he's so annoying, he's so, ugh. So I made a silly little video. So if you want to check it out, I'm just posting it on TikTok, so it will be up now. This is my outfit of the day. I've got my little stretchy black cami and my Moto Rocks crazy baggy jeans. They weren't this oversized when I bought them, but I've lost a bit of weight and I continue to wear them because they're so very comfy. I'm just going to go into town and pick up some things, and then I'm going to come back and start on some editing of content. This is my she shed. I like reading in here, I like filming in here, I like playing games in here with my friends or making jewellery. It's a bit of a mess at the moment. It did used to be where we kept our guinea pigs, but it's just really nice to have a space that is kind of dedicated for hanging out in and just being really chill and relaxed. I had a big plan of things I wanted to film this week and take photos of, but because the sun has inspired me, I've actually got a load of it out of the way today. So I think the rest of the week will be a lot of reading and editing and reviewing. I'm kind of trying to expand my content into not only books, but also other cozy content. So today's video is a review / how to play Ticket to Ride, which is a game that I discovered recently and absolutely love. Since I have a Manfrotto Be Free tripod, I'm going to use the turn function so that I can film above the table. So I'm hoping that works out. I'm going to give it a try, see what angle works best, check the lighting, and hopefully make a fun video. I've just been rejigging my weekly to-do list because I've actually got a lot more done today. Maybe it's because I'm filming and I know that I should look even more productive, but I'm pretty happy with where I've got to today. It felt very productive. I've got a lot of stuff that I now just need to edit. I think I'll get started on that tonight for about an hour and a half, and then I will relax a little bit. Probably will still involve reading, knowing me, but we shall see. I do find it quite hard to completely shut away from social media even in the evening, because it is what I do as a part-time job, but it's also kind of a hobby for me as well. I don't not enjoy doing it all the time, but I am trying to do more things not with screens, or if they are on a screen, I like it to be like watching something with my family or something that connects me a bit more to everyone else rather than just me sat on my phone or my laptop. So maybe I'll do something more social tonight. I decided to sit and put my Ticket to Ride video together, and I'm really proud of myself because I found a funny little train sound effect for the end. Good morning, it is Wednesday. I have just got off the phone with my lovely friends Grace and Shoned, and it was so nice to have a catch up. Shoned is traveling around, she's currently in the Philippines, but she's off on a really long journey, so it's really nice to be able to catch up with both of them. Other than that, I've been finishing editing a YouTube video, the one that I filmed yesterday. I'm hoping to finish up the editing today, and then I think I will post it for Friday because a lot more people seem to watch on a Friday, especially in the evening, so that's when I like to put out my videos. And then I'm hopefully going into town to see a friend. If not, I'm still going in to do my boogie bounce class in the evening, which is so fun. It is basically like trampoline dance, like a cardio workout. I really enjoy it, but that's not till this evening. I need to film a TikTok. I have an idea for a TikTok, and then I also want to post it as a reel, and then I also want to do an actual Instagram post today. Basically ready. It's when I went last week to the themed lunch at Bloomsbury for the book Aftertaste by Daria Lavelle. I had the most wonderful time. The author Daria is lovely. Everyone was so chatty and clearly loved the book too. We had a 3-course lunch inspired by the book, which is insane. If you want to check it out, then it's on all of my socials. Then I need to reply to some emails, follow up some invoices, a little bit of admin, which is not the most exciting to watch, so probably won't film that. But if you have any questions about it, I'm very happy to answer them in the comments. Hopefully I will be speaking to Lisa Jewell, who is an author I love, on Saturday at Capital Crime, so I want to finish Don't Let Him In before then. This is what I'm wearing today, just to run some errands in. But I will be changing later into my gym clothes to go out in, because that way I can go straight there and not have to get changed. I think today I want to make a video about posthumous publications, because it's been something I've been thinking about a lot of different examples with Joan Didion, and now with Harper Lee's short stories being published after her death. I just think it's very interesting, and I'd love to hear other people's thoughts, so I think I'm going to make a video about that. I'm actually extremely happy with how that turned out. The way I create TikToks like this is that I kind of come up with a script, but then I adapt it as I go to add examples, and so that it sounds more natural to how I sound. I never know whether videos like this are going to do well, but discussions like this are something that I love, and I think social media, more than just the numbers all the time, needs to be stuff that you're passionate about. So I'd rather get 3 people comment that really understand and also find this an interesting topic than get thousands of views, although thousands of views would also be nice.
I'd kind of want to be fake dated almost.
I want to be cover up marriage.
Oh.
Like, oh no, we have to get married. That's the
Because
only option.
yeah.
And then we'll have to fall in love, I guess. And like,
Yeah, that kind of like
marriage for convenience. Or marriage for safety. Also very cute. Like, oh, let's like make an agreement, and then it's really cute when it's like fall in love.
Or when they get like marriage, they have to get married for whatever reason, and then they like don't know each other or hate each other, and then they fall in love.
Fake marriage to enemies
and his lovers. Yeah,
I love that. I love that. We've come to Dicebox in Peterborough, which is the cutest little board game cafe. They have so many games, and you book an hour slot, but we only have half an hour, so we picked, what is it? Onitama, which I've played before and I'm trying to teach tonight. It's kind of like chess, but you can move different ways and then the cards rotate, so you move differently each time. It was a mistake to drink a pint of smoothie and then get on a trampoline for 45 minutes, but I had fun. It's actually 26 degrees today, so fleece lined joggers was probably not the best decision, but they're really comfy and I just wear them all the time. I'm doing Sabrina Carpenter background stills from the music video, and then I found loads of movies and books that have this Americana, Bonnie and Clyde chaotic vibe, because the whole Sabrina Carpenter man-child video looks like a trailer for an amazing movie, but obviously the movie doesn't exist. So I thought I would recommend some things that are similar if you absolutely, like me, loved the music video. I kind of switched between using Canva and using PixArt, because I really like the font choices on Canva, but it's harder to do these white lines because I only have the free version. So I switched between different ads, so I kind of have all the tools together. I think these are looking so fun. The only thing I might change is I might put the white borders around the photo stills and around the books just to make them stand out. Okay, this is it with the white borders, this is it without. Do I prefer it without? Maybe I prefer it without. These are the final ones, so I'm going to put them all on Instagram this afternoon. Today's TikTok is not a filming one, I already have the content. It is the Midsummer Night's Dream videos that I took last week when I went to see the show at the Bridge Theatre.
They very kindly invited me for opening night and it was amazing. There are area lists, you're walking around the theatre, ushers are moving you because the stage is going up and down. It's the original Shakespearean script, but they've added little modern bits which are so much fun. I love some of the music. You'd be surprised at how much Love on Top by Beyonce comes up. And I went with my little cousin and we had the best time. They gave us flower crowns and colour changing drinks. They have so much cool merch. It's just such a fun show. Probably one of the best shows I've ever been to London to see. I would go again next week. I think my favourite thing about it was that the end of the show is a dance party because the stage comes down, the cast are just in the audience. You're dancing with them, Beyonce is playing, there are giant inflatable moons flying everywhere. One did hit me on the head, but very fun. Very crazy. I just think it's such a cool concept. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time editing that and then putting that up on TikTok and as a reel on Instagram and on my YouTube so that it can be seen everywhere. Starting today by uploading my YouTube video. I've just finished writing the description and I made a fun little vintage thumbnail. Just got to add some tags and then do all my checks and then it will be up, closely followed by my matching TikTok, which redirects to this video. Whenever I upload a new YouTube video, I then immediately go to Instagram and put up a post telling people that it's out. Then I normally put up a TikTok relevant to it. So this one is like just the tips on how to win. And then if people want the whole gameplay and setup and the tips as well, then they can go back to the YouTube. So I put a kind of call to action at the end telling people where to find it. It's super warm today, so I'm wearing my Free People skirt, which is the most lovely swishy thing that I own, and this pink vest top. And I'm going to sit and read outside because it's lovely weather for it, and I have to finish that Lisa Jewell book, and want to finish it by tomorrow, because I'm really into it now, and the action is getting good. We are in a very quiet Cafe Nero around the corner from St Paul's. We are having some breakfast, which I didn't think we'd have time for. Here is Rachel. But luckily I wasn't late this time. And then we're gonna head over. I've just been sent a list of authors that I'm getting to interview today, which is very exciting. There are some names you will definitely have heard of, and then some new authors as well. Rachel, are you excited?
I am, yeah. I haven't really read many thrillers. But I really enjoyed watching them, so I might get a bit more into it.
Yeah, very exciting! We just watched our first panel and it had Reverend Richard Cole, who is kind of local to us, so he's a really cool guy. They talked about dogs in crime fiction a lot, which was fun. It's quite a funny one. Now we're watching the Knives Out panel with Jeremy Vine, Ram Morali, Kelly Mullen and Bob Rinder before I do a little interview with Ram Morali because I just finished reading his book Death in the Air, which was really lovely.
Welcome to Agatha Christie for the Knives Out generation. Hello to everybody on their phones. This is a good thing.
It's the beginning of the Bertram's Hotel, for example. There's a whole school of Agatha Christie, they're called Bertramians, who are people who believe that's the best Agatha Christie. So it's a very
As a first-time author, what is something that either someone has given you that's advice or you wish someone had given you about writing a book or a crime novel specifically?
So I would say three things. First of all, really try to limit your urges to make the main character you, because you're going to regret it later. Second, think very seriously about publishing the book under a name other than your own. Third, and this is actually the most important, when you're writing your first draft of your first book, do not read a word of it till you get till the end.
Okay.
Do not edit as you go. You will just get frustrated. You will just get bogged down. Do not read a word of your first draft till you get to the end.
And then go back.
And then go back through the whole thing. But do not read a word of it till you get to the end.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
just asked Jeremy Vine if I could take a video of him fake peering behind a wall holding my magnifying glass like a weirdo, but it seemed less weird than just doing it without asking him, but he was really lovely, as was Ram Morali and Judge Rinder and all the other authors that we've met today. It's been so cool. We're gonna have some lunch and then check in with some more.
We had a lovely lunch and then rushed back because I had an opportunity to interview Lisa Jewell, one of the top-selling thriller authors that I admire so much.
What is one piece of advice that someone has given you or you wish they'd given you in terms of writing a book, whether it's crime thriller or just any book in general, that you think is the most helpful to writers?
This is actually really counterintuitive, but a very early editor of mine, back when I was writing romantic comedies before I started writing crime, but I think it applies anyway, I was giving her the rough outline of my book in progress. And I got to a certain point and I said, I don't know what happens after that. And she said, nothing needs to happen. And it was just very, very liberating. It just made me feel really free and confident that I didn't need to constantly be thinking about what should be happening and I could just let it evolve naturally. So that was very, very helpful.
Brilliant, thank you so much.
I have one more panel and I have the perfect seat for it to watch Richard Armitage and Lisa Jewell discuss their unlikable characters.
And the Ocean 8 films, as well as great TV shows like Spooks, Red Eye.
I feel like there's a really bad version of me that gets to exist in books and on TV, but I keep that one at bay.
Does he have a name?
Richard Armitage.
I just met Richard Armitage and he was the loveliest man ever. Everyone's right, he is so nice. I'm now off on a long tube ride before a long drive home, but it's been such a fun day. I'm so glad that I got to take everyone along, and there'll be loads of cool content coming out all about it.
Hello, sweet Murphy. Is it too hot for you? Oh, I'm still smiling though. Still smiling. Boy. Happy Sunday everyone, it is the end of my week and it is a really beautiful but very hot day. I'm going out to see my friend Millie, who you may remember from some other vlogs, just for a little catch up and coffee and bookshop. Although we're probably not going to be buying anything because we don't need any more books right now. Then I'm going to come back here and really relax and read my book. I'm reading Foreign Fruit by Emily Go, which is a personal history of the orange. Really interesting. I will put in the synopsis so you can see what it's about. Today I'm wearing this dress that I think I got from Mango, and it's really comfy and really cool, which is perfect for today. Currently reading Millie.
I'm currently reading Wild Side by Elsie Silver and Joan Didion's Slashing Towards Bethlehem.
Which you prefer?
Honestly, neither.
And that is the end of my week. Obviously I do this part-time and not every week is the same. This was quite a heavy week for content and also quite a heavy week for reading crime because I knew I was leading up to Capital Crime on Saturday. But I would say it's quite typical for me to read 1 or 2 books in a week and then make content for YouTube, TikTok and Instagram at least. The only thing I didn't quite finish was my blog post, but that is because there are a couple of little changes I've decided to make to it, so that will also be up very soon next week. Obviously I also don't get to go to an event every single week, so it was really good that I got to bring you along to this one. I have some cool Capital Crime content that I'm really excited coming out, especially on TikTok and Instagram. I hope you also got to get an idea of how I make some of my content. If you have any questions about the process of how I make any content or anything I've talked about in this video, if you leave me a comment, I will be very happy to get back to you. Thank you so much to everyone for watching and showing interest in this video. It was a really fun one to make and I'm so glad that I could bring you all along. I'm always interested in what everyone's reading, doing, new hobbies they've started. If you want to tell me, let me know in the comments, and I can't wait to see you all in another video very soon. Have a lovely week. This vlog is going to be so much editing.